10XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This offseason has just been to finish and to build that toughness and grit, and that happens in training camp.
Travis Etienne fakes the handoff, runs it to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! Travis Etienne out of the Wildcat.
Now, going into my year 3, it's about me putting all the pieces together from my year 1 to year 2, and now I feel like I'm able to just go out there and play ball with.
He's going to get in. He's going to get sacked back at the 20-yard line. Trayvon Walker made the sack.
I can make every play on the field. You know, that's the position that I'm put in at all times, and, you know, learn the capabilities that I can and will do it. Stop the run, be able to rush the passer, just, you know, execute your technique, man. If I can do that well, I can dominate.
He scrambles away. He's going to get hit. He's going to get sacked. Josh Allen got him inside the 40-yard line. He couldn't spin away that time. What a play by Josh Allen.
I never like to say too much before the year starts because it's a long year and you got to earn it every week. But I will say this is definitely the most talented team that I've been a part of since I've been here. No question about that. And I think the leadership is as good or better than I've ever seen it.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and Dylan Denmark.
All right, good morning, everybody. Jaguars Today off and rolling, second day of joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here in training camp for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Although, Tony, no pads today, so I don't know if that's good or bad, honestly, at this point in time. I'd like to get a little revenge. Mental revenge based on the fact that there weren't a lot of holes being opened up for the Jaguars running game yesterday. Like to see some physicality, but
sure.
You see a headline like Rick Stroud of the Tampa Bay Times writes a story about how the Jags pushed the Bucs around all day yesterday, right? Now, granted, they're split fields. You're not seeing everything that happens
right
at the whole time. So I think the Jags did some nice things yesterday. Again, we weren't out there, obviously. But I think this interior of the offensive line is either a growing concern or a continued concern, depending on what your point of view has been.
Well, it would make sense from a Jacksonville perspective that the fans, and including us doing a show like this, our reaction to what happened yesterday will be the interior of the offensive line.
That's what we've been looking at.
Because that has been the issue, right? I'm not surprised that the Jaguars' passing game would look really good in 7-on-7. Doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised that when they're given the opportunity, when it would be a sack, but you finish the play, that they got the job done. That doesn't surprise me. I'm happy to hear that even on the defensive side of the ball, it sounds like they held up against the Bucs yesterday. But the big news for the Jags at this point is what's going on with the offensive line. I do think it's kind of funny looking ahead to Saturday, right, against Tampa. The starters aren't going to be out there. We'll see how many of the guys that'll start for the Jags play at all on Saturday. But given what we've seen through the first week of the preseason, even in the practice yesterday, I think the backup offensive line and run game will be fine on Saturday against the Bucs, and it won't answer any of our questions about how good or bad the group's going to be when it actually matters against Miami. But it does sound like the backup groups along the offensive line and the run game have been fine through the first couple of weeks. It's the starters are getting hammered by other team starters.
And the other team will have their starters on the field, most of the time.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Right, okay, great, we have better depth than you. It only comes into play if you have a series of injuries and you've got to play your lesser players.
Absolutely,
so,
yeah.
It is concerning. It's not the end of the world, no. But and if you want to hang your hat on something positive, like you said, 7-on-7s, and when the plays were allowed to continue, sounds like Trevor Lawrence had a really good day throwing the football. And we'll tell you all the time, the most important thing is Trevor Lawrence's performance for this Jaguar team, that kind of the bellwether of how they're going to do this year. But he's got to have time to throw, and he's got to have somewhat of a balanced offense, some threat in the running game, or teams are going to defend them and take away what they want to do on those third and short and medium type situations if they know the Jags can't line up and just blow them off the football.
Yeah, you don't want it to turn in what it turned into last year. The year before, they found a way to have some level of success in those opportunities. Last year they didn't, and at some point they turned to, well, we got to throw it. That became what they had to do, and I'm not saying they're not capable of making that play happen. I certainly think they're capable, but it'd be nice to not go into all of those situations with everyone knowing they're going to throw the ball, right? It would be nice to create some kind of opportunity to put some question in the defense's mind about what you want to do on 3rd and 2.
When Trevor turns around and puts the ball in Etienne's belly, people have to react to that instead of going, he's pulling that out, and we don't buy that for a second and just keep pinning their ears back. So, look, again, we are 3 weeks out from the start of the NFL regular season. There's still some time, but that time's going to slip through our fingers here, right, pretty quickly, and you're going to be what you're going to be come week 1. Now, can you get better along the way? Yeah, like Mitch Moore said a couple of days ago, he thinks the running game takes a few weeks to come together. Well, that's great if you're winning in the meantime, right? And if you find a way to beat the Miami Dolphins, and that's a good football team, playoff team, then so be it. Even if it's ugly, even if you don't run the ball successfully, there's hope that it could come along. If you're getting beat in a close game and that aspect of your team is not giving you anything, that's going to be an issue. Now, again, we're not there yet. We're a long way away. Wanted some updates today on some banged-up players, and Doug Peterson provided those within the hour. As a matter of fact, spoke at about 9:15, 9:20 this morning, and started off with, why is Christian Kirk not on the practice field?
It's kind of day-to-day. We'll get through this game, get to next week. We break camp after this game and get into more of a normal kind of an in-season type schedule. So with more rest on it, and we'll see where he is for Atlanta.
All right, so dealing with a little bit of a calf injury. If it's not that big a deal and he's fine in a week, okay. But this is the kind of thing, Tony, I think Christian Kirk's got enough reps in with Trevor Lawrence over the last 2+ years that if you need to go extend this out, make it 10 days, make it 14 days. Just make sure he's not in a position going into that game against Miami where it's easily re-aggravated.
Yeah, this pretty solidly goes in the camp of keep an eye on it, but I'm not worried about it, kind of deal with Christian Kirk, because this is the time of year, especially with a player the caliber of Kirk in this offense, that if he's dealing with anything, there's no reason to expose him. At this point, we'll get him back out there when he feels 100%. It did feel like the whole conversation and listening to Coach in that clip right there, if this was week 1 against Miami, he'd be out there on the practice field today. He's just not out there because we don't see any need to push
Right,
this.
we don't need that. Ezra Cleveland is back practicing, but not in a full capacity, because why push it if you don't have to? He gave him some credit for toughing it out and things like that. Apparently, Daniel Thomas dealing with some stuff. Here's what Doug Peterson had to say.
DT might be the only one today you won't see out there. He kind of has the foot, the little heel issue that he banged about a week ago. He's fine. We're just going to kind of, again, precautionary and just kind of hold him out today. Other than that, everybody should be good and working.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What does that mean for Eric Armstead, for instance, right? Doug's basically like, I don't need to see him go. I mean, you'll hear him talk more about that along the way this morning, but, I know what he can do. And you hope that you know what he can do at this stage. He hasn't practiced, so, you hope he's ready to go. I don't know if he can just throw that switch or not, but again, we've got enough weeks. I think they've had a plan with him all along, and I'm sure they feel like they've got enough time to get him ready to play against the Miami Dolphins. But, again, just came back. You're not going to push it necessarily in a joint practice type setting, particularly where sometimes, that ego and that adrenaline gets stoked up a little bit going up against guys that maybe talking a little smack to you or what have you, and you end up trying to do some things maybe you're not ready to do yet.
Yeah, and it's the last day of training camp, right? Tomorrow they're off. They play on Saturday.
Right.
Next week they're going into more of a different kind of schedule for the football team. As we know, week 3 of the preseason, the way everything's lined up now, especially this year with the Jags doing what they're doing yesterday and today against Tampa for week 2 of the preseason, next week's the first week. If they're going to have any kind of minor level of game plan that they're going to have for a preseason game, that'll be next week. And that's as much about getting the players used to the routine of what it's going to be like in a game week, right? That next week will be more about that than it will be about we need everybody to get reps on the practice field. Like, next week's going to be more about what does game week feel like for this football team going into week 3 of the preseason, and then you got the week off. They'll figure out what they want to do with the roster, the 53-man roster after that too. But it's the last day that's open to the public. It's the last day of training camp. So for a lot of the fans out there that have been watching this process throughout the last 3 weeks, well, today's the end of the process from a training camp perspective. So no, we're not going to have the same level of access we've had to even what's going on with the team starting next week that we've had for the last 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So it would be nice. Today's a bit different too because they're not having pads on. It would be nice if one of these days against an opponent, the offensive line looked like, okay, we're fine, as opposed to, I think they'll be all right, but I'd like to see it. Right? Like, but we're not going to have.
Be optimistic,
right?
Now.
Like, we're not going to have that opportunity to even see it till week 3 of the preseason, and who knows what that'll look like for the football team. But they're not going to play on Saturday against Tampa. I wouldn't expect so. What you've seen is what you've seen, and whatever your level of comfort is with the offensive line, it's not changing. That may be something where you feel like the team needs to go out there and make a move. I don't know what that move would look like. Right? They were willing to make the move for Ezra last year. Like, they did make a move last year along the offensive line.
But then they paid Ezra.
They did, right? So I don't know what the move would be, even if they wanted to make one this year.
Is the move seeing if Cooper Hodges is ready to push for more playing time, right? I mean, could it be internal like that? As Mia O'Brien pointed out today, Doug Peterson said that Ezra Cleveland battled through his heel injury yesterday. He's just sore, but he's going to be all right, and they'll continue to limit his reps. And Mia followed up and said, yes, for those wondering, Doug said that will create an opportunity for more reps for Cooper Hodges with the starting O-line. I don't get the sense, Tone, that it's Ezra Cleveland who is under question here, right? And again, he's been banged up. It was, again, interesting. We talked about it with Jeff Logman's perspective that he feels like Ezra Cleveland is kind of a thumper. You know, he's stout, I think is the word he used in regards to both Morse and Cleveland. A lot of people look at Cleveland and go, you know, kind of a smaller, lower half, more of a finesse guy who can block on the move. And that, I think, Logs feels that's more where Brandon Sheriff is at this stage of his career. So if you need a little, oomph in there, Cooper Hodges is the guy who might potentially provide that. I don't know if you can show enough, though, going up against second teamers, if that's in fact what you're going to do this weekend. Now, that the thing with the offensive line, even though it's a 90-man roster, some of these guys may play to some small degree. You know what I mean? I mean, like, what are you going to do with Walker Little, right? I mean, he's not a starter.
No.
You can't bench everybody here in the second week of the preseason. I know Doug reiterated today that Trevor Lawrence won't play. I think it's up in the air probably on a few of the other veteran players. I think, frontline guys like Josh Hines-Allen, guys like that, don't expect to see against Tampa Bay this weekend for sure.
Yeah, and I saw this morning ESPN was doing the article with the high and low, potential for each team and what the main, problem area could be for all 32 teams. And they're talking to the reporters for ESPN. So Mike DeRocco is the one who does the short little write-up for Jacksonville. And, look, I think all of us are on board that the thing that could get in their way is their offensive line, especially on the interior. And we have the conversation about if they're going to make a move, where would it be? Well, you start looking around the league. You got the 32 teams in the league. On that article, 12 of the 32 teams in the league, offensive line is listed as the biggest problem they have going into the year. This is not a Jacksonville exclusive thing. It's hard to find a competent group, a high-level group of offensive linemen in the NFL, and every team that doesn't have that is looking at it going, that's the thing that'll get in our way.
But you know what? You do find instances every year of teams that overcome it through play calling,
that's what
through
you have
quarterback
to do.
play.
Yeah.
Right, exactly what you have to do, and rely on your defense a little bit more. If that defense is a little bit better, it's going to make it somewhat less important, right? I mean, if you're better in certain other areas, you don't have to necessarily be as great in some of the other ones. That doesn't mean we don't want the best offensive line out there that we can possibly have this year. All right, let's get to Doug Peterson coming up here, Tony. We'll hear from a number of Jaguars today. Some spoke after practice yesterday, including Eric Armstead, Josh Hines-Allen. But we'll lead off with the head coach. And today's Chad and Sandy real estate question of the day, simply asking you, project the stat line for Brian Thomas Jr. for his rookie year. He had a pretty good practice yesterday by all accounts and has been coming on. So we want receptions, yards, and touchdowns for Brian Thomas Jr. We'll discuss that as we go along. If you want to hit us up on social media, at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Go Tigers.
There we go. And 641-1010 on the Garber Automall phone lines or on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Keeping our eye on all those camp reports coming out. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here. For Pella Windows and Doors, got them in my house. That's about as good an endorsement as I can give you. I use the product in my own home. They beautified my home, and they've certainly made it more energy efficient. I needed to replace my windows. If you're in that stage, maybe you're a homeowner thinking about doing the same thing. Maybe you're building a new home or a trade professional working with clients. I'm guaranteeing you the design experts at Pella can help your project run smoothly and look great. Simply visit PellaJacks.com online or go to the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jacksonville Sports Radio. 1010XL. Now, the Florida State Seminole Report, brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team.
Florida State guard Jameer Watkins will participate in the 2024 Nike Basketball Academy. He was an All-ACC honorable mention selection as a junior and enters the 2024-25 season looking to build on a streak of 19 consecutive double-figure scoring games. Watkins was ranked in the ACC's top 20 for both scoring and rebounding last year. I'm RJ Saunders with your Ag Pro Seminole Report.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Jennifer, Luxury has a new address in Jacksonville.
Oh, do tell, John.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard. We've got over 40 Cadillac Lyrics in stock.
40? That's incredible. Any color you want?
You bet. Pick your color and drive away today. Plus, we're giving away a free home charger with every Lyric.
Fantastic. Anything else?
How about a car you'll never have to change the oil on?
No oil changes ever? Now that's luxury.
Randy Marion Cadillac, where Jacksonville meets luxury.
Visit us today on Southside Boulevard and tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
You're locked in to Jaguars Today Thursday with
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Hicken here for my friends at GolfTeeRepair.com. No, we don't really fix golf tees. We just want you to have some fun around the game we all love. Golf Tee Repair is just a Jacksonville company that makes affordable golf wear for Jacksonville dudes who love to play. Polos, t-shirts, hats, hoodies. Gotta see it to believe it. GolfTeeRepair.com. All natural materials for comfortable, breathable clothing. GolfTeeRepair.com. Perfect to wear this summer and into September when you're at football game bound. Be comfortable in the heat. GolfTeeRepair.com. They're terrific forever.
Training camp is about the basics.
Focus on the fundamentals.
Every time something you need to know happens at training camp, you'll hear about it on 1010XL. Brought to you by Kingfish Pest Control and Roland Reach Plumbing.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting. Daytona, always
brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Calling all fans of Duval to downtown Las Vegas during the game against the Silver and Black. This is Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this December for the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway featuring an incredible all-in package. Get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available until August 30th, so act now. To book and to join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
Cold beer and good grub. That's what you'll get at Taps on 210. Just a great neighborhood feel where friends and family get together. Check out Taps in the Winn-Dixie Plaza, just west of 95 on County Road 210. Proudly supporting our 9 After 5 weekly. Head there for a cold one.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
He battled through it yesterday. You probably saw him kind of hobble a little bit, but he's fine. It's just sore, and it's different, than a game. But it's just gotta fight through it. But he's okay.
Sounds like an old-timey guy. Battling Ezra Cleveland. Come on down. Battling Ezra Cleveland in the blue corner today, kids. He's battling through it, Tony, and he's out there. And I don't know if I hope he's not one of these guys that we're always watching battle through something, but I don't think we've gotten the full Ezra Cleveland experience yet here.
Not yet.
For good or bad. I'm not saying, don't you worry. Once we get it, it's going to be amazing. I don't know that to be the case, but we'll get more from Doug Peterson coming up. I got to know, though, Tone, I know this has been a question that has been pondered by most of Jacksonville and the sports-loving community. What will the motto be for the Baldwin Indians football team?
I got
this
it.
year? And, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, because the T-shirts were given out yesterday.
They are. They're wearing them today at practice.
As of, I'd say, 20 minutes ago, you didn't have it. So
yeah, I forgot it, and then one of the kids texted me what it was.
Yes. Did you send a request out, like the bat signal, like I need to know what the motto is?
Yeah, I said, what does the shirt say on it?
Okay, well, that works, too.
Yeah, so same but different.
Absolutely. No, that's it. That's a more direct point to the youth of America. So what does the shirt say on it?
Another level.
Okay.
That's it.
Another level.
Another level.
That doesn't necessarily indicate a higher level.
No.
Right? But
I mean, we were 5-5, so I guess another level would be 6-4.
That'd be climbing.
7-3.
4-6 would be another level.
Yeah.
Right?
A worse level.
You just can't be 5-5 now.
Correct.
No matter what. Which is, a bad position to be in if you go in 4-5 until your 10th game.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
No, another level. Taking it to another level. I like it. Still in Denmark, leading the charge.
Yeah. Who are y'all playing tomorrow in
Middleburg, 7 o'clock. We'll have the starters play the first half, and then the Yahoos will play the second half, and they'll run the clock, and we're trying to get in and get out.
So what is this, like?
Preseason.
It's like an exhibition.
Yeah.
Basically. It's not a jamboree.
The Friday before the start of the season, everyone gets together. It used to be a jamboree.
Do they not do the jamboree anymore? Like where you have multiple teams and like 2 teams play the first quarter, different matchup in the second quarter?
They do that for spring sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends
it
on
stopped
the team.
a while ago. That used to be the week before.
That seems like an odd thing. Like we always talk about guys getting cold, right? Like, hey, go play the first quarter. You won't play it all in the second quarter, and then we'll go to halftime, and then we'll have you come back out here running full speed in the third quarter. I don't know if that when you're young, though, you can do that kind of stuff. Right? Kids, just run all day.
Yeah.
Okay, get outside, touch some grass, and go play for the Baldwin Indians. Any big transfers coming in? Any NIL deals we need to know about?
No, not yet. We're working on it, yes.
Okay. Are you open to that, though, right?
Oh, 100%.
At 1010XL Denmark. Slide into those DMs, people, if you want to subsidize the youth
taking
of
it
America.
to another level, man.
Hey, well, is that fair that we're only helping them? Well, if our producer coached another football team, we'd be talking about that football team.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is true.
There you have it. All right. Let's get to Dougie P. Just overall, started out today is morning presser before practice. And I do appreciate how available the Jags coaching staff has been, right? You get every single day, you're getting the head coach or a coordinator level press conference, in addition to premium players being made available in kind of a press conference setting, and any player you want to speak to after practice, and 1010XL is certainly taking advantage of that. But Doug was just asked, kind of to start off, just give us your quick overall impressions on how the joint practice went yesterday.
Yeah, I thought it went well. Good competition out there. It was a lot of plays when you think about it. I think we had 90-plus reps, both sides, so, you're playing maybe a game and a half of practice. But it was good. Again, great competition. It was good to go against another opponent. Todd does a great job of coaching his players, obviously, and it was good.
I don't know if I draw anything from the it was good, other than it was well run. You know what I mean? We didn't have any issues. We got a lot of work in, but were the results what you were looking for? I don't, when he says it was good, I don't think he's leaning into one way or the other, because they did have some successes, obviously. We heard the reporting on that, Tone, and they had some struggles as well.
No doubt about it. Look, we've already talked a lot here in the first segment of the show today about the question marks that are up about the offensive line and what exactly that's going to look like for this football team. That's been one of the big questions throughout the entire offseason. They obviously brought in Mitch Morse, but didn't do anything else to address the starting group along the offensive line. Coach was asked this morning before the day 2 of practice out there against the Bucs about the offensive line, and he says, looking back on the day before, that he saw some good things that they got done.
I thought they did some good things. You watched the one-on-one pass rush. I thought we did good there. Vita Vea is a big, strong, powerful human being, and but that's good for us. It's good for Mitch and the guys to go against, and thought we did some good things. Now it's a unique scheme. We haven't seen it for a year. Obviously, it's the same one that we had here, and so some of the pressure. And again, we're not. You got to understand, too, we're not game planning or scheming anything. It's just what we're going against and kind of using our rules. But I thought overall they did some good things.
Okay. I don't doubt that they did, right? I mean, you don't lose every single rep out there. I don't know, though, Tony, should we just say, got faith in Doug, Super Bowl coach, he's exuding calm. If he's calm, thinks there were some positives, why should we feel differently? He has a certain perspective. He's probably watched a film, or are we whistling past the graveyard? There's probably some middle ground in there, but I find myself wondering which end of the spectrum this actually falls on. Going up against Todd Bowles' defense here, and they didn't have all their frontline players out there, like Kalijah Cansey, for instance, didn't practice yesterday, but Vita Vea certainly did. Doug was asked today, what makes a Todd Bowles defense good?
It's a versatile defense in the sense that you can mix fronts. You can play with more linebackers, less D linemen, and vice versa. Pressures, disguises. He does a great job of that. He just go back to our game last year and some of the things that he did, and that's what makes it a challenge. Because what he shows you maybe the week before is not necessarily what you're going to see in your game, and he does a great job at that.
Yeah, he's a good coach. And, he's a defensive guy, and now he's a head coach in the league, so I would expect his defenses, he's going to have his hands all over it, right? What they're doing on that side of the football. One of the stars at camp yesterday was certainly Brian Thomas Jr., including the long touchdown he had. Just missed another one, was good in 7-on-7 for the Jags yesterday as well. And Coach was asked this morning about Brian Thomas and says that he continues to get better.
He's been doing a really nice job, and it showed up, a couple plays in the game last week and then, this week in practice. And he continues to grow and just – he and Trevor keep talking and working, and that's what it's going to take. Not going to be a finished product right away, but if he continues to improve and just learn with the offense, grow with the offense. But he's been doing a really good job.
Which sets up our question of the day. Today, what do you expect from Brian Thomas as a rookie? We're asking you to project that stat line. We may have done this before this summer, but as the buzz around him in camp starts to pick up, he starts to make more pronounced plays. We saw the big play, obviously, in the preseason week 1. If you're the Jags, you want to see some Brian Thomas this week? How are you handling him?
Probably pretty light.
Not going to play with Trevor.
Yeah.
Maybe a series. Maybe not that.
Maybe not even that.
Yeah, you got a lot of receivers on this team.
Yeah,
so.
And you got all the work that he can get against, something live here these last couple days. That's okay. That's enough for this week.
All right, so we want receptions, yards, touchdowns for your projection today for the Chad and Sandy Real Estate question of the day. Just a couple of quick ones coming from the practice field this morning from the desk of one John Shipley. See if I can just had it right in front of me a second ago. Here we go. Andre Sisco with an interception that was in coverage on 7-on-7s. I can't tell who the receiver was. Might have been Jalen McMillan. Let's see. Who's 11 right there? Maybe it was somebody. Maybe it was not an 11. It looked like an 11, but I don't see an 11, so my eyes are probably bad. Either way, receiver bobbled it. Would have been a reception, but Sisco was kind of Johnny on the spot, would have made the interception with the bobble going on. It wasn't a pass breakup, but Foye Oluwakan out there getting close to a pass breakup. Just the fact that he's out there on the practice field running around is a good sign, with Foye.
Sure.
Not a guy you would expect to see any action, obviously, this weekend as well. So as things come out, we'll keep you posted on those. We'll hear more from Doug Peterson and more from the rest of the Jaguar roster as well. Day 2 of joint practices with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Lose 20 pounds before the fall gets here and feel so much better about yourself. Look, anytime's a good time to drop 20 pounds. You can drop 20 pounds in a month. No problem with Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You might even do it quicker. My first week, I lost nearly 10 pounds. Results will vary on that, but they'll tell you'll average about 5 pounds a week, and you'll really just start to lean into it because you turn your body into a fat-burning machine. It actually, for me, I results may vary, but I found it to be kind of easy to go along with the program because they'll tweak it to fit your lifestyle. There are certain things that are not going to be applicable to every single person, but Awaken 180 has done this with enough customers over the years that they know how to get results. Help you lose the weight, but equally importantly, help you keep that weight loss off. And I've had mine off since last September. You want to be the next success story? Call 844-346-1800 for Awaken 180 Weight Loss or schedule a free consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Did you know you can charge the all-new Honda Electric Prologue in the same receptacle as your phone? You don't need these special charging stations at your home. Simply plug in your Honda or your phone. See your local Honda dealer now. We're electrified.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Jaguars Today Thursday, brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
He's a professor of quarterback play, and class is in session.
We want to take you into the lab so you can learn more about the science of quarterback.
Denny Thompson, Friday mornings on The Drill. Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security and George Moore Chevrolet on 1010XL.
1010XL Weekly is out now. Mia here, and text the word weekly to subscribe to our new 1010XL newsletter and for a chance to win Jaguars and concert tickets. Get an inside look at local sports, trending players, station info, and chances to win prizes all year long.
Football season is here. I love so much about football, including the fantasy aspect of it. I've been playing fantasy football forever. I love this Underdog fantasy app, and it's time to fire that sucker up and get hot. But first things first, right? Got to be 18 or older. Got to be in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. That's true here in Florida. Terms apply. And if you're ever concerned with your play, it's supposed to be fun. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. And then get on that Underdog app and have a great time. So easy. So easy to download, so easy to use. You just go higher or lower on statistical projections, and the more you put in, the more you can win. You can also now compete against others in a player versus player fantasy game to see if you can beat out the pack and become top dog. You can also get a nice little bonus when you use the mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code Prosser, and Underdog will give you a special to use on your first contest and a deposit offer. That's the Underdog Fantasy app, promo code Prosser.
Duval. Your Jaguars are back for another preseason matchup as we take on our neighbors to the west, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meet us at the bank Saturday, August 17th for a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. This is your last chance to see the Jags before the regular season kicks off. So lock in your tickets today by calling 904-633-2000 or online at jaguars.com/tickets.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The latest in innovative imaging technology is at Ackerman Cancer Center. With total body MRI, PET, and CT scans, plus 3D mammography, offers unparalleled precision in cancer detection. Schedule your screening now at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Rookie wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr., looking to keep making a name for himself, spoke with 1010XL's Hayes Carline yesterday on the pride he has in his run block game.
You got to take pride in the run game, just blocking, whether it's finishing plays. That's how you spring the big plays. Just finishing. Got to take a lot of pride in that. We take a lot of pride in that as a wide receiver room. So yeah.
JTA Game Day Express is back. Save gas and avoid parking hassles as the Jaguars take on the Buccaneers this Saturday. Let them do the driving, with multiple locations around town and passes starting at just $10 on the My JTA app. Learn more, visit JTAFLA.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Been smooth. Got like a 4-6 week. I'm in this club, so I'm been in it for a little bit, but still grinding with it on. So it's been passionate about football, so I'm going out there.
Ventrell Miller playing through wearing a club, and it's going to be on for a little while. But, hey, we saw him running around, making plays around the ball in preseason game 1. And by most accounts, he's had a pretty good training camp. So we'll see how that translates. It's got to be frustrating to not be able to use one of your hands.
Sure. Yeah, it's a cool look for a linebacker. I know it affects the way that you're able to play most effectively. It obviously does, right, if you don't have the use of one of your hands. But it is a cool look to see a linebacker on the field with just a club.
Yeah, I got a broken something in here probably, and don't worry about it. It'll be fine. This is kind of fun, looking side by side. Demetrius Harvey, John Shipley. They're not, by the way, attached at the hip when they're out there at practice. Everybody's doing their own thing. But it's just fun to see kind of the tweets in real time. John Shipley tweeting, not watching the offense because, they're on split field. So if you watched the offense yesterday, you want to watch the defense today. I understand that. I'm not watching the offense, said Ship, but I've heard the crowd roar, and I looked up and I saw Evan Ingram running away from the Bucs a few times. Demetrius Harvey tweets, Evan Ingram is good. Demetrius tweets, Brian Thomas Jr. caught a deep touchdown. Jags receivers doing very well against the Bucs secondary. Ship followed up on that. Another deep touchdown for Brian Thomas. Nobody close to him, 16 with the throw. And there's a fan video that he retweeted from Fantastic MBT. Give him some credit for their shot. It looks like an 80-yard, would-be 80-yard touchdown on 7-on-7s. And the key is, Trevor Lawrence has got a cannon. There's no question about it. And when somebody called the other day about, you see those ESPN, that article on traits?
Yeah.
I thought he should have gotten more love in the arm strength category. He throws some balls that just dematerialize and rematerialize on the other side of defenders. How did that get through? But anyway, if you watch it, the fun part is, how many yards was Brian Thomas behind the Bucs secondary this time? I don't know. I'm looking at
running by guys out
2 to
there.
3, and he was doubled. It looked like in this scenario. They're going to take some shots. There's no question about it, and hopefully the line holds up long enough for them to take those shots. They block it well enough on those plays. And I forget who wrote it, Tone. Yesterday they said a lot of the Bucs were buzzing about how fast Brian Thomas Jr. was in person. That, you see the numbers, 4.33, whatever, but to see him out on the field and experience that firsthand for them was kind of eye-opening.
Yeah, look, the Jags haven't played that game at wide receiver in a long time, right, where they were willing to invest first-round capital in a wide receiver. They hadn't done it since Blackman. It had been a long time since they had invested that way, and the early indications are that, it looks legit for Brian Thomas Jr. out there. There are still things, obviously, he's going to have to get better at as he gets into his NFL career. But that catch he made on Saturday night was incredible. What he's doing these first couple days against another team in a practice session seems to be really high-level stuff from Brian Thomas Jr. I also saw John Shipley, and it struck me. Last year, if you saw this kind of tweet about this player, you'd be like, oh, thank goodness, it's finally going to all come together for him. This year, I see it, and I'm like, well, yeah, that's our guy. Josh Hines-Allen just tossed Wirfs on a run play. Right? It's
Tristan Wirfs, who just got one of the biggest, if not the biggest, left tackle contract.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Like last year, you see it, and it's like, maybe this is the year. It finally all comes together for him. That's how most of the fan base would have been reacting to that. This year, it's like, yeah, our guy is better than your guy. You know?
Or at least equal to. I mean, Tristan Wirfs is a really good player.
There's a level of confidence with Josh Hines-Allen that I see that he does that. I'm like, well, yeah, he's Josh Hines-Allen. You know, like,
right, he's capable of making superstar plays.
Absolutely. Put anybody in front of him. He can handle that.
At the same time, I would expect, over the course of the game, Tristan Wirfs would probably get the best of Josh Hines-Allen.
That's how that stuff works.
Right. They're both really, really good players, but it's nice to hear about your guy doing that. And I wonder, though, he tossed Wirfs on a run play in a non-padded practice. Like, what are the rules of engagement out there? I don't know what the answer to that is. Before we go any further, I just want to point something out. This will be a plug. This is a plug for the J Fund. This is not a plug for me. I'm playing in a charity fantasy football league this year. It's called Pros with Joes. And because I earn some of my living talking about fantasy football, they put me in the, quote, pros category, right? I don't consider myself a professional fantasy football player or analyst or any of that stuff, but I love it and love talking about it. But got invited into this league because it does benefit charity. You can pick the charity of your choice, and mine is, of course, the J Fund. We always try to support those folks here, do a great job here in Jacksonville and New York, for that matter, but particularly in Jacksonville. And so I tweeted out the link, and I'll do this daily until it ends, the time ends. But if you want a chance to co-manage a team with me, and what turns out to be a very highly competitive league, because it's a whole bunch of fantasy analysts from across the industry that are doing similar things. There are multiple leagues, and then there's a multi-league playoff. If you make a donation through the link that I tweeted out to the J Fund, all that money goes to them. I don't make a penny off of any of this. Let's say you donate $10.